Welcome to another new episode of the Get Organised with Decluttr Me podcast with myself, Shalina. I hope you're well wherever you are in the world. Today, we're going to get crafty, literally. We're talking all about how to organise your craft supplies and how to declutter them when it feels like you've got a small art shop exploding in your home. I know a lot of my listeners are creative in different ways. You might sew, knit, paint, crochet, scrapbook, do DIY, or all of the above. And with creativity often comes a lot of stuff. Buttons, fabric, glue guns, beads, threads, paints, rolls of ribbon, foam sheets. Sometimes you don't even know what you've got until you start digging. And because crafting is such a joyful thing, you tend to accumulate a lot without feeling guilty until one day you realize you've got more supplies than time or space. Does that sound familiar? If you're nodding right now and thinking of that one messy drawer, overflowing trolley, or that chaotic craft cupboard, don't worry, I've got you. Today, I'm going to walk you through how to gently declutter your supplies, get everything organized, and keep your creative energy flowing without the stress. So let's talk first about why this kind of clutter creeps up on us. Crafting is often spontaneous. We buy supplies for a project, get really excited, maybe start it, maybe don't. Sometimes you finish it, sometimes it sits half done for months, and then you tell yourself, I'll finish it one day. So we keep everything, just in case. Plus, the supplies themselves are small. They don't seem like much on their own. A little packet of beads here, a spool of ribbon there, but it adds up. Before you know it, you've got 6 glue guns and 15 kinds of glitter, and then there's the guilt. Craft clutter isn't just physical, it's emotional. You've spent money, because this stuff is not cheap. You've had intentions, maybe even dreams tied to that crochet kit or embroidery hoop. Decluttering it feels like you're giving up on that idea. But here's what I always say. You're not giving up. You're making room for the creativity that actually fits your life now. Sometimes you find items you forgot you even had. That fabric you bought on holiday, the special scissors your mum gave you. Rediscovering these things can be joyful and can even reignite the desire to actually use them. But to get there, you need to remove the overwhelm that's masking the inspiration. To have a think about that. That's a lot of words to just think about. So let's not forget the sheer volume of tools and gadgets available to crafters like now and everywhere. There are machines for everything. There's cutting, embossing, laminating, gluing. There was that Cricut. I even got a Cricut because I thought I'd make labels for clients and it takes so long that I just lost the will to live. But loads of people bought Cricuts to do stuff and labels. And then they have extra accessories as well. All this stuff, all this crafting stuff comes with extra accessories. So it's no wonder it gets overwhelming. But the goal here isn't to throw it all away. It's to know what you have, to love it, and to be able to get to it quickly. So as always, we're going to start small. No big emptying out drawers or dumping everything in the middle of the room. You know I am not an advocate for that because that's just chaos. So let's start with maybe your knitting basket or your paper drawer or just your scissors and your tools. Choose one thing. That's going to be your mini declutter zone. Lay the items out and start grouping them with like for like. So pens and markers, your paints, your embroidery threads, your scissors, your cutting tools, adhesives, glitter, paper, card, fabric, etc. With each group, ask yourself, do I still use this craft? Is it still usable, so not dried out or broken? Do I have duplicates or too many of one thing? I mean, how much purple glitter can you use? Okay, don't answer that. Maybe you can. Is this material still inspiring or is it just clutter now? Be honest with yourself. You might have once had a felt obsession but haven't touched it in years. That's okay. It served you then. but now it might be better off with someone who will actually use it. So keep what's useful, usable, and genuinely loved. Donate unopened or barely used items you won't use. Recycle your dry paints, your broken tools, and your tiny offcuts. And take breaks. Decluttering can be mentally and physically tiring. I always say that to all my clients. So do it in little bursts, one mini declutter at a time, 15, 20 minutes a day or every few hours. Then reward yourself, maybe with a little crafting time using your newly discovered materials. If you're working in a shared space like a dining table or a guest room, you want to especially limit how much spills out. It's not just about keeping the room tidy, it's about protecting your creativity from getting buried under the chaos. The key to maintaining your crafting joy is accessibility. So once you've mini decluttered and reduced the volume, you want to find ways to organize that match how you work. Think about vertical storage, drawer organizers, and clear boxes. And label everything clearly. That is the key to everything. Get a little label machine. You don't need a giant one like I have. You just get a little one and it will help you so much to find everything in 5 seconds moving forward. Use jars for buttons, like caddies for moving like your tools around, and trays for thread. Also, those trolleys that you can get from IKEA are really brilliant for moving your projects around. Use a pegbook or a pegboard for tools if you like everything visible, but don't overcomplicate it. The goal isn't to create a Pinterest perfect craft room, unless you want to, of course, but I'm never, a big thing for the Pinterest and Instagram perfection. It's to make a space that lets you create without rummaging for 20 minutes just to find your glue stick. If you do multiple crafts, set up kits or zones, a knitting kit with your wool, your needles, and your patterns, a drawing tray with your sketch pad, your pencil, and eraser. These little bundles help keep projects contained and stop supplies from scattering across the house. And finally, let me give you a gentle reminder. If you bought something 5 years ago and still haven't used it, it might be time to pass it on. You're not wasting it, you're letting it go to someone who will enjoy it now. And don't forget about the inspiration clutter. I have talked about it a few times over the years. Crafters love to keep patterns, how-to guides, Pinterest pins, magazine cutouts, packaging for kits, all with the idea that you'll use it someday. But be honest with yourself. How often do you revisit them? So create an inspiration folder or box, just one, and review it every few months. If something has lost its appeal, let it go. You can also digitize your ideas and store them on your phone or your tablet. That way you reduce your physical clutter, but keep the inspiration close. Finally, let's talk about maintenance. So craft spaces, just like any other part of your home, need a reset now and then. So schedule 15 minutes once a week to put everything back in its place. Throw out the scraps and reassess what's creeping in. I promise it makes such a difference and you'll start to enjoy your space again instead of feeling buried by it. You could even set up a holding box for items that you're not sure about. If you haven't used them in 3 months, they go. No drama. You just made space. So there you have it. Decluttering and organizing your craft supplies can feel like a mammoth task. But when you break it down into a mini declutter, it becomes completely manageable. You don't have to tackle it all in one go. One basket, one drawer, one category. That's all it takes to get it started. And once you begin, the space clears, the guilt fades, and the joy of crafting comes really rushing back in. Thank you so much for listening. If you've enjoyed this episode or know someone with a craft explosion happening in their house, please do share it with them. And don't forget to follow, rate, and review the Get Organised with Decluttr Me podcast. I'll be back next week with one more organising goodness. Until then, take care. Bye.